the season is not over. Guys, we're watching the Buffalo Bills. We just lost 30-27. Totally get people are down, but you have to really take a look at this game. We've not had our quarterback in the entire season, and I don't care what anybody has to say anymore. Like, I'm tired of having to go over this. You'll have a bunch of YouTubers that sit there and, you're not a very manly person by degrading another person and continually making a whole entire channel about another human being. Here's the thing. Tua Tagovailoa, clear as day, looked awesome. He looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league today. And sure, he underthrew a Tyreek Hill. You know what? Guess what? It happens. It happens to Patrick Mahomes. It happens to Josh Allen. I'm tired of hearing, literally this guy has to make zero mistakes every single game. So we'll go over the stats. Tua Tagovailoa is 25 for 28, 231, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You have Devon Achane, 12 for 63. Raheem Mostert, which probably costed us the game, 10 for 56, and a huge fumble. Jalen Wright, 6 for 18. Tyreek Hill had 4 for 80 yards. Devon Achane, 8 for 58. Jonnu Smith, 5 for 46. Raheem Mostert, 2 for 32. Odell Beckham, 3 for 15. Jalen Waddle, 2 receptions and a touchdown. And Durham Smythe. Something I noticed about this game is what you have to focus in on certain things. People are going to sit there and say 2-6, season's over, even though there's still 10 games left. And, the New York Giants, they went on to win the Super Bowl as I think it was like a 9-7 team. So there's a couple things to have to consider. Yes, we have to win a lot of games, 100%. But what I want you all to realize is that the YouTubers, and most of the people that are watching this, like Tua said, are big old 300-pound fat guys that have never played football in their life with chips on their stomach, trying to pretend like they understand what football is all about. What you have to understand about this, and what you can take from this, is something has been occurring throughout this season that is becoming very prevalent and is becoming something to look forward to. The season hasn't gone the way that Mike McDaniel wanted it to. But what has happened for a young coach who is a first-time coach, which a lot of people, you're going to end up sitting there saying, fire Mike McDaniel. And I was one of them too from what I'm seeing. But what I've saw in the past couple weeks with Tua Tagovailoa is that Mike McDaniel is learning what he learned, the 3-game losing streak that we had. He started learning that he needs to run the ball more and rely much more on the run in order to open things up. That has been just a nonstop this season, which has been excellent. What I saw today is that also something that we've seen is it seems like Mike McDaniel tries to funnel the ball to Tyreek Hill every single game. And regardless of what you want to say, when Tua was younger, all I saw was him picking different receivers to throw the ball to. Whoever was open, he would use his massive accuracy in order to get the ball literally shot to whoever was the open player. What I've seen a lot is that we seem to funnel the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And the problem with that is that we seem to throw it to him when we don't need to. And what we've always talked about, and what a lot of good teams actually do, is sometimes they use their best players as just distractions to move the defense in a certain way to get the ball to somebody else. And what I saw today from Tua and Mike McDaniel is that they weren't funneling the ball to Tyreek Hill. If he was open, if Tua saw something he liked, then he would throw it to him, clearly. But what I saw was he found the open guy every single time. And Tua looked incredible when he does that. And Mike McDaniel learned something, that you don't need to funnel the ball to the guy that's getting paid $100 million. The reason he also is getting paid $100 million is to move the defense away from the rest of your offense. We played a perfect offensive game besides the fumble. The Raheem Mostert fumble, I think, was the game ender, because you have to understand that we were at the 30-yard line, I think it was, inside the 30 when Raheem fumbled. And if you really consider the whole point spread, that was either going to be 3 at least for us and nothing for them. So him fumbling right there was huge. And Raheem seems to continue to do these fumbling things. And the problem is that, people are going to say, you should have taken Raheem Mostert out. Here's a quick intermission. If you're liking this video, do me that favor. Hit the like, hit that subscribe. Fins up, baby. He's running good. He fumbled, and then he came back and he started running good again. It's just the problem is that he fumbles, and Jalen Wright got more carries. You can't fumble like that. And I think the fumble actually lost us the game because we were driving at that point and the momentum had kind of switched from us being continually driving, us stopping them, to they went down and scored and their offense started getting going. So that was huge there. But let's just talk about Mike McDaniel for a second. What this season is showing to me is that he's learning how to be a head coach and learning what his offense needs to be. The defense is tough because there's so many injuries on that defense that you couldn't have accounted for having Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Zach Sealer, Javon Holland, all of them being injured this year. But the offense, he's starting to learn on what to do, because the first year, nobody knew who he was, or they did, but they didn't know his offense. Second year, people started honing in on it towards the end of the year. This year, he's starting to understand that even if they hone in on the offense, just find the open guy, win the game. Sorry, I keep scratching my eye. I have something in my eye right now. I can't get it out. Mike McDaniel is learning. And what I'm going to tell you right now is I think he deserves, if he keeps doing this, what he did these past couple of games, I think he deserves a shot. And we have to remember, it's so funny how fans you'd switch and turn left and right, up and down all the time. Listen, we went 1-7 and then 7-1. We ended up almost making the playoffs except for that last game. We're 2-6, and if I'm not mistaken, there's one more game than when we played the last time. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but we have a shot. There is a shot. Things happen. It's just one of those things that the Jets, they beat a Houston Texan team that doesn't have a single receiver on that team. Not really that big of a deal. They didn't even look that great. And honestly, that touchdown that Garrett Wilson had, I really don't think it was a touchdown. That was just a call for them. They don't look great. The Dolphins, if you consider the two teams, look much better than the New York Jets. Here's what we have to say, is that there's still a shot. Slim, 100%, but there's still a shot. And if this is something that Mike McDaniel continues to do from here on out, where he learns and he makes adjustments, because that's what we saw this game. And we play games like this against Buffalo and the hard teams. The sky is the limit for this team. This is starting to show me something that I really like seeing. I think we all thought we were going to blow out. And like I said, I predicted a miracle. I started hearing things that I haven't heard before, game planning things, strategic things like that Mike McDaniel has never really said before. He's just said corny this and that. He's never really said stuff like he said, and that's why I predicted the miracle. Even though it didn't happen, we did see something very, very good from this Miami Dolphins team, and this is something that can move us forward in a certain way that can definitely do something. Again, he says we have to win out. There are teams that go 12-4. That happens, which means that they've won 12 out of the 17 games, or 12-5, which means they've won 12 out of the 17 games, which means they've gone on streaks that we are prone to do right now. If we play like this, it can happen. Stranger things have happened, and I'm just saying, you watch a game like this, there is much more so a cause for hope than a cause for concern. You have your quarterback back. He played excellent, and Mike McDaniel seems to have learned. It's something to take for this team. But as always, guys, fins up, baby. Like and subscribe if you like this video. Love you all. Peace.